We are back to our show again, Good Morning Kuwait. Now moving for our next interview segment. We'll talk about, share with you about the mental health. Conversations are becoming increasingly important in today's fast-changing world. Yet in many societies, including the state of Kuwait, emotional struggles are still often kept private due to the private pressure, social pressure, family reputations, and the cultural expectations. At the same time, issues such as burnout, social media pressure, anxiety, and emotional isolation and affecting people for all ages, while many still hesitate to seek professional support. Today, we are already joined by the physiotherapist and also to discuss the relationship between the mental health, culture, faith, and modern life, and how to explore how families and communities can create healthier, more open conversations around emotional well-being. We are pleased to have with us today this morning Dr. Andy Baldwin, therapist and physiotherapist. Thank you and welcome and good morning.
Good morning, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome and thank you so much for our show Good Morning Kuwait. And our show, every time we learn something new.
Right.
Even about the titles for the medicals also.
Yes, yes.
So how long it would take you to learn such titles?
Well, it took some time, and sometimes I used to spell it incorrectly, but with practice makes improvement.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And it's a really important month for not only for the month of May, but in general, we need to always keep in mind the importance of our well-being when it comes to our social, psychological, and emotional mental well-being.
And also, in addition, today we are commemorating this month as for the mental and to be how healthily in the mental health. So how is important to share to the communities and people who's watching us about the importance of mental health, doctor?
Yeah, it's important. I understand, when it comes to the Kuwaiti culture as a collective culture, we worry about reputation, the sum'a, we can call it. But the thing is, we need to understand that when, for example, a person is sick, they go to the doctor, if they have a fever, for example, and they take medication. Now, mental health is no different. I'll be honest, it's no different. I mean, if someone needs help, they can seek a professional, and it's the highest form of discretion, where it's confidential and it's backed up by science. So it's really important not to, traditionally, we would say protecting the family is keeping those struggles quiet. Between four walls. But today we need to redefine that. It's about family members being number one, healthy, and number two, functional.
How do you deal with this kind of situations, doctor? Because you face patients every day, and for sure you've been in this kind of things. How can you comfort and contain the families?
Well, it's very important that they understand that everything that we do talk about is confidential. That's very important.
And top secret.
Yes, definitely. And they need to understand that the person that they're speaking to, the therapist, is very objective, very honest, non-judgmental. That's something that we, of course, have to stay away from. And we need to be interested in their stories, because if we're not interested in their stories, we won't be able to, connect, bond, and be able to help them thrive in life. So it's really important at the same time not to be a part of the story either, because if you're a part of the story, you can't help them.
It's well said from you, doctor. If you are being part of them and their story, we cannot help them. So it's important to be like an observer, we can say, surround everything.
Exactly, a spectator, and then just in the background, listening to what they've been going through, connecting the dots, just analyzing, not having an agenda, but being able to see if you can help the client resonate with where they're coming from, so you can provide the intervention accordingly.
And also, in addition, in the culture and the religions of Islam, faith is the part of our religion. So for like people who get sick, he's in the hospital or whatever happened, you say we have to pray more. Like instead we are going to the doctor.
Right.
We have patients coming to you. Even we are praying more.
Yeah.
So it's like link between each other.
You're right. You see, in our culture, faith is a powerful source of healing, right? So someone can pray for health, but they can also go see a doctor for medication. So there's something that we call asbab, it's when someone takes worldly necessary means. So if someone was to pray for peace, they can also seek therapy to manage with their anxiety, for example. So therapy is about taking the tools that can help us manage our minds that God has given us. I'm sorry. And there's also this thing that we call tawakkul in Islam. So it's like, I'm going to do my part, right? My responsibility by going and seeking help and trusting in the outcome. So if I do that, I honor my spiritual values and I also honor my biological reality.
Nice. Like relying on both sides.
Exactly.
That's one important thing. Sometimes, you know, doctor, because men always have working hard every day, so we call it for the burnout. So how can we be in the middle, like I am working for my family to providing them and avoiding burning out?
Okay,
how can we mention the difference between them?
Yeah, you see, unfortunately, and you know, you know, when it comes to men, I believe it's important to talk about their mental health as well. It's as important as, you know, women, don't get me wrong, but you know, when we have a person who's a hard worker, that's characterized by having a sense of accomplishment, having a high degree of energy. But when someone is burnt out, that's when a person goes through motions of emptiness, like in their soul. And their success is at the cost of their relationships with family and friends. It's at the cost of their physical well-being. It's at the cost of them being incapable of feeling a sense of joy. So that's basically a human capital depletion. So it's when someone's burnt out. So it's important in Kuwait, in you know, the fast, you know, ongoing workforce, that we really consider mental health being an important asset for people who work in an establishment.
So well said from you, our distinguished guest. So we want to mention to the viewers sharing, mental health, instead it's for women. It's more important also to be with men. Because, you know, men, like in our culture, they want to emotionless, they want to feel like because we are the providers.
Right.
So they want to stay strong, they don't share emotions. How is important mental health also, and also especially in your field, to counselor men?
Yeah, see, that's a very good point, and I believe when I said it's I mean, the same, when we need to give the same amount of attention to men when it comes to mental health. If you know, I'm, let's say, the captain of a ship and I'm going through a storm, I need to navigate through a storm, right? And if I'm going to ignore, let's say, a leakage in my ship, then I won't be able to navigate through the storm. So as a leader, or as a man, let's say being the rock of a family, or being the supporter as a leader when it comes to employees, as being a leader, we need to understand that it requires high emotional intelligence for us to recognize that we're stressed and we're about, or you know, being burnt out. And that is not weakness. That doesn't mean that weakness. No, it doesn't mean that we're broken either. Actually, it means that we're responsible. We are responsible, you know, men, we're responsible fathers or leaders, or you know, so it's really important to set that standard so we can you know, become more resilient. So we're not only resilient, but we're more also sustainable as a person. Yeah.
That's well said from you, doctor.
Thank you.
So in addition, let's go now to the children, or to the teenagers. Now, because we are in the era of social media, they're checking the influencers and the bloggers everywhere. How come they will protect their self-esteem instead of dragging and throwing the social media? Because, you know, they are sharing the good side from them.
Yeah.
And the children are always eager to be maybe like them.
Yeah.
Or maybe there is a fake news.
Right.
How can you counsel them or their parents?
Yeah, you see, I think we can both relate on this. We come from the same generation. So we were born before the internet.
Yes.
You know, we didn't even have phones. You know, I remember the pager.
Yeah.
And now we can see how life has changed after and how it evolved after the internet. Now, with today's kids, they're born into a world with so much technology. And unfortunately, I call it anti-social media, to be honest. It's not good because, I mean, it's taking away the childhood. You know, when we were kids, we were out on the streets, you know, playing with our bicycles or, you know, with a ball or, but now everyone's on their screen. You know, these kids are on their screens. And unfortunately, what's happening is that they are looking at things and receiving information. And they're not speaking, they're just receiving. So there's no interaction. And they don't know sometimes who they are. So, like, for example, in Australia, I know that they restricted the age, I believe, under 16.
Okay.
They're not supposed to have, you know, access to social media because they want their kids to know who they are, not who they think they are.
Yes.
So it's important to, you know, consider one's character, the values that they hold, and what they can contribute to society instead of, you know, giving likes, for example, you know. So social media is really something, and there are a lot of studies that have shown that, you know, this generation, their short-term memory has, you know, has declined. It can cause anxiety, it can cause depression. You know, when I have my phone on next to me and if I'm bored, it's so tempting just to grab my phone and just go through reels, right? But there's this cycle that we don't, you know, notice that every time we get on our phone and then when we get off our phone, we tend to go back. And the more we go back and forth, the more lonely we become. So we're isolated. We're not built for this. So it's important to sit down with kids and to explain to them that what you see on social media is not real.
It's not real.
No, because it's just an illusion. So if then they start to compare themselves, right? They feel less when they look at other people. I mean, if you look at social media, you only see things that are good, shiny, but you don't see things that are really...
In the real life,
Yeah.
it looks different. But
Right.
Dr. Andy Baldwin, we can say all the times, good times run very fast.
Yeah,
We
that's
didn't
true.
fill the time. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing this important notice for everybody.
My pleasure.
Even me, I get well informed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Special thanks and appreciation to our distinguished guest, Dr. Andy Baldwin. Now let's move for our next report. International Nurses Day is the global healthcare event that's celebrated on the 12th of May every year. The day recognizes the Florence Nightingale birth anniversary, the founder of the modern nursing, and aims to give recognition to the profession's influence on the economy, society, and the culture, while encouraging nurses' acceptance, support, and inclusion of the global scale. So this year in 2026, the International Nurses Day theme is Our Nurses, Our Future, Empowered by Nurses Saves Lives. This theme emphasizes the urgent need of investment, safety, fair working conditions, and leadership to maximize the self-saving impact for the global nursing workpiece. So let's watch this following report together. We'll be right back. So please stay tuned.